Welcome to Leetcode's Blind Curated 75, where I'll be solving the top 75 Leetcode questions. This problem's search in rotated sorted array. Suppose an array sorted in ascending order is rotated at some pivot point. Say we're given a list like this, 0, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it can be rotated in this format, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0, 1, 2. So it's still sorted, sort of, but it's spliced at a certain pivot point. We're given a target value to search, and if that array is found, return its index, its actual index, or otherwise return -1. Okay, so here's our approach. Why don't we do a binary search and first find that pivot point? Here in this example, the pivot point is going to be what? 4, right? It's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's 4. Because that's the point where the actual sortedness of the array exists. Once we find that pivot point, we can just do a regular binary search and return the actual index. So let's first initialize some variables, get the length of nums, as well as the left and right pointer. Now, while L is less than R, we're going to check first calculate the midpoint and say L plus R divided by 2. If the nums midpoint is greater than nums to the right, that means that this pivot point must exist on the right side. So if that's the case, we'll just make left equal to mid plus 1. Otherwise, we'll move our right pointer equal to mid. And the reason we do it like this is at a certain point, it's going to be pointing to these two pointers, and we want the left pointer to move to the right because we want the index number right where the pivot point starts. So now that both the left and right pointer is going to be pointing to the pivot point, we can just initialize the pivot just to make it a little easier here. And now we'll do a regular binary search. So while L is less than or equal to R, we'll say first calculator midpoint. And here's the thing, we need to calculate the real midpoint using our pivot. So all that is just to add the pivot number, and we need to do a modular by the length of the array. And that's going to give us the actual number that we're pointing at, even though this binary search pretends like this is just a regular sorted array. So if nums.mid2, if that equals the target, then return mid2, which is the actual index. Otherwise, if nums mid2, if it's what? Less than the target, what do we want? If this point is less than the target, then we know we need to move to the right side, right? So we want to change the left pointer equal to mid plus 1. Otherwise, make R equal to mid minus 1. And if it's able to break this loop, then we can just return a -1. So let's run on the test case and see if I got this right. And it does get accepted for the test case. Let's submit that. And there we go. So yeah, it's basically two binary searches going on. And it's just discovering that pivot. The majority of this code is where you need to find that pivot point. And once you do that, it becomes pretty easy to do a regular binary search. Thank you.